Hello, in today's video we're going to be looking at the first grade level curriculum choices for this year. And I use that first grade designation loosely. We don't go too strictly by grade levels here, but a lot of it is in the first grade level. To me, it's not as important that the children reach a certain standard of learning by a certain age, but more that they build a good foundation, especially in reading, and that they love to read, and that they build a love to learn in general, because I cannot teach them everything they need to know in 12 years. But if they love to read and learn on their own, they'll fill in all those gaps as needed. And so we just try to keep it fun and try to let them love to learn. So this is for my daughter who is 5, my youngest. She did start first grade last year, and in reading especially struggled because she does have dyslexic tendencies. So we're going to be doing a lot of the first grade language arts over again this year, and she's excited about it. She enjoyed it last year. It just got a little bit frustrating near the end because she has her letter sounds mastered. She has that down, but making that jump from letter sounds to blends, where you blend 2 letters together or more, haven't quite got comfortable with that yet. She understands the concept, but need more drilling in that area. So we're going to be doing that over, and to help with that over the summer, by the way, these latching boxes I got from Michael's are great. They come with a caddy on top. I've been using this one for 3 years for their pens and things. And the bottom goes their books. You can make a label with typing paper, a printer, and that clear packaging tape for free. But as I was saying, over the summer we've been working from this book, Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. This is a pretty well-known book. I just got this used on eBay. It was actually like brand new. But instead of the traditional method of blending letters, where you would go et, met, it teaches a slow sounding out, met. And that's the simplest way I can explain it. But it's a little different, but it's been very helpful to her, and we're going to continue working from this to just drill that blending principle. For another thing I want to mention about phonics is that I highly recommend any resources you can use from Abeka kindergarten or preschool phonics programs. I started out with Abeka. We couldn't use it because of the classroom oriented style and all the busy work, but I do think their phonics program is very superior. I highly recommend it if you can get anything from them. I subscribe to their emails, and every now and then you'll get like 50 free hours of video lessons, and that has helped my children in building phonics principles through their videos. I also have their phonics cards. I don't use the Good and the Beautiful phonics cards. The Abeka is colorful, easy to memorize. A, Y says A as in pray. They also have other little sing-song memorization things, like when there's 2 vowels in the word, the first one says it's long sound and the second one is silent. And my kids have memorized them by going over and over these little sing-song things. And if you can utilize Abeka's phonics principles, if you can get a hold of them somehow, a lot of it was given to me. Their blends book, the phonics cards, and watching the videos for free. That was very helpful early on, and still is very helpful. For language arts, we use the Good and the Beautiful. This covers reading, writing, punctuation, grammar, spelling, even geography, and more than that. I'm forgetting it all. But it's an open and go curriculum, very beautiful and colorful, lots of tactile and kinesthetic style learning, which is great, especially if you have a child with dyslexia or dyslexic tendencies. Like I said, it's open and go. You just open to the lesson and start reading to the child. You don't have to prep ahead of time. There's no teacher's guide. And at this level, It's mostly 1 page per lesson per day, which is very doable and easy, unlike tons and tons of worksheets that you'll find in other curriculums. There's sight word ladders. They get to color in a picture for each sight word ladder they memorize, because a lot of the words in our English language do not follow our spelling rules. So, sight words. But that's language arts, and I always let them pick out a notebook from the Dollar Tree for their writing work. She uses this handwriting card that I think we originally got from the math, Good and Beautiful Math, but she uses a dry erase marker and goes over how to write her letters. They also get to pick out a calendar every year at the Dollar Tree. We go over the calendar each day. This is the reader that comes with the Good and the Beautiful language arts. This was passed down from her older brother and then sister, but it's very simple, like Dick and Jane style writing, and pictures, very beautiful. Like the title says, the Good and the Beautiful is good and beautiful. And I would like to add that they have a library of books that they reprint and write new as well, and their standard for books and a book list that they've come out with hundreds and hundreds of books that they approve of. They find books that are good, beautiful, and don't have any disrespect towards parents or bad language, and I really appreciate that because it's getting harder and harder to find good books. Another thing we got from the Good and the Beautiful is these bird watching notebooks. This is for grades 3 to 8 or levels 3 to 8, but it seemed like very doable for my first grader because she's very interested in birds. It was actually her idea to get these, and you get to write down the birds that you see, where you saw them. There's a scavenger hunt, how to identify birds, and goes into how to do nature journaling, which I'm really wanting them to learn how to draw and give specifics about the things they see. And there's areas where you can color and draw your pictures. That one's really fun. And then for math, we're using the Rod and Staff. These are consumable workbooks. This is grade 2. She finished grade 1 and did great with it last year. She's ready for grade 2. The workbooks are fairly cheap. You do need to get a teacher's guide to go with it because there's a lot of teaching that's not in the workbook itself. I was given these books. I was given the teacher guide, so my son and other daughter used it as well. This might not be my first choice. The Good and the Beautiful actually has a simple math program that has just come out this year. If that was available before, I probably would have gone with that. But this is what we have. It's affordable for us, and we start using teaching textbooks at grade 3. That's the lowest level they have, and that's where they're going to get the bulk of their math instruction. So we're just using what we have for now, but next year she'll be going to teaching textbooks, which is a computer program that I highly recommend. For handwriting, we typically use the Good and the Beautiful, and I recommend it the most. It's got a very nice cursive program that's color-coded, but I felt like she was not ready to progress to the next level in the Good and Beautiful this year, so we just wanted to mix it up, make it fun, and try a new manuscript writing workbook from Christian Light, just to mix it up this year. But we'll be going back to the Good and Beautiful handwriting. Here's just some reading books that she's working on reading. We do focus on a lot of reading throughout the year. We go to the library every week and utilize books a lot. This was also from the original Good and the Beautiful Math. This is her 100 chart. She's practiced counting to 100 every day, and then she uses this for her math as well to identify numbers. And the Good and the Beautiful Math that was out when my kids were using it was very overwhelming. There's a lot of manipulatives, which is great, but it was actually to the point that it was wearing me out. It was overwhelming, and it was expensive. They do have a newer one out that I heard is a lot better and a lot more usable, more affordable, and I would recommend you check that out. I let them pick out a coloring book each year. We go to Bible school as a family, and the kids like to bring coloring books. This is what she's using for science this year. This was actually left on the free table at our church, and only a couple of the lessons were used in it. I found out who left it there and asked her, why didn't you want to use these? And she said her kids just didn't like them. Another thing is that the scriptures it uses in this curriculum, this is a Masterbooks workbook. The scripture verses are not in the King James, so you have to look them up on your own if you use the King James Version. But this is a consumable workbook, which means you use it and you're done. You can't reuse it. But my girls, or at least one of them, really liked it and started doing lessons on their own. So we're just going to use that. I do like a lot of Masterbooks stuff, and my son actually asked for the level for his level in Masterbooks because it looked really interesting in the catalog, and we got him that as well. So there's some more coloring books, but other than that, I think that's it. We're doing history as a family. It's a group study, and we typically do science as a group study as well with the good and the beautiful science units. I was wanting to do a birds unit this year, but with the Masterbooks workbooks kind of falling into our lap, we'll just do that this year. Maybe do some of the group studies as well, but we also have the bird watching notebooks to work on. But as I was saying, the history we do as a family, and if you are doing the family style history, whether it's story of the world or what we use is the good and the beautiful history, which is very great. I recommend you don't start until your oldest kid is at a 2nd or 3rd grade level. What I'm saying is, if my 5-year-old was the oldest, this would be a little much for her. But since I also have a 7-year-old and an 8-year-old, that they're absorbing more information from the history, and the 5-year-old's getting what she can out of it and enjoying it as well. But I wouldn't push that until they're 7 or 8, a little older. At this age, at 5 or 6, I would focus more on reading books about history, go to the library a lot, see what they're interested in personally. My son, for example, at a very young age, 5 or 6, became obsessed with colonial America, and to this day he still loves anything to do with the colonies, the Revolutionary War, French and Indian War, George Washington, anything in that era. And I've encouraged that. If there's something that your child is interested in, you want to encourage that and instill that love for learning. So I think that's it. Let me know if you're interested in our curriculum choices for grades 3 or 4. And we also have a morning book rotation that I can share with you. We do history, Bible reading, memorization, poetry, prayer, nature study. We actually have a loop schedule, and I can show you the loop schedule that I designed and printed as well for our morning basket or morning time. That's probably my kid's favorite part of the day is morning time. I think that's it. Thank you for watching, and let me know if you have any questions or suggestions. Goodbye.